Hey, what's up and welcome. I'm the one and only WestCoastKing, and welcome back to the Hamburg career, where today we are finally going to be getting into season number 2 with Hamburg. I know it's been almost a week, actually been a full week now since season 1 ended and I put out a video, but there have been a couple things going on. First of all, you might notice behind me things look a little bit different. That's because I moved in this past week, so between packing up and actually physically moving to my new place, haven't had too much time to do anything else. And also, I actually did record the first episode of season 1, and it was just the transfer window business up until the first game of the season. And of that 3-hour recording that I did for just that transfer window stuff, I went to edit and found out that my microphone had actually not recorded anything, so I had no audio to go along with it. So with that and then the whole moving thing, I didn't have time to fix it and put together anything I could actually put out as a video. So yeah, it's been a bit of a chaotic week for me, but I'm back. I got my setup put together. I'm still in the process of kind of moving everything in and putting everything together, but I've got everything at least together enough to record videos now. So hopefully we'll be back to more consistent videos. As for what's going to be happening in today's episode, I'm going to take that 3 hours worth of recording and I'm going to cut it down to probably 3 or 4 minutes. And I'm just going to show you who we did sign in the transfer window, at least thus far. I think there's like 3 days maybe left in the transfer window. So we do have a little bit of time and money left over. But for now, let's just show you who we signed. And I also tell you, before we get into that, I didn't really sell anybody. At least nobody important. There were a couple of guys that were out on loan last season that came back that I sold off because we just don't need them. Other than that, no big roster moves as far as selling players. So let's get in, let's see who we've signed so far, and then we'll move on from there. All right, so to start off the season, we had about $37 million in the transfer budget with about $110 in the wage budget. And if we add to that our preseason tournament winnings, which we did participate in a preseason tournament and win it, and we won it with ease, by the way. I mean, we didn't give up a single goal in the entire tournament. We played absolutely phenomenal, and I wasn't even playing the starting 11 all together in every single game. I think I only played them in the first game, and then I mixed and matched reserves and starters and just kind of tested everybody out. And everybody played really, really well. I think Jordan Morris dropped 2 hat tricks in that tournament. He was phenomenal. And I also called up a younger player from the youth academy, Klein, a midfielder. I felt we needed a little bit more midfield depth, and I'll address that a little bit later as we do sign a midfielder in this transfer window as well. But yeah, I called up Klein from the youth academy. He was great in one of those midfield spots. I mean, just everything seemed to click with this team, and I was really happy with that performance. But that got us, I think, an additional $10 million. So we were close to $50 million in the transfer budget to head into this window with, and I was ready to spend some of that money. So the number one area of need heading into this season was obviously center back. We needed somebody to play next to John Brooks and solidify that core of the defense. And the number one player you guys said to go get was Nicholas Sula, so that is who I got. You can see it cost us $24 million, which is half of our entire budget for this transfer window. But you know what? I think it's money well spent. Like I said, it solidifies that defense, and I think we've got a great center back pairing in Sula and Brooks for probably the rest of this career mode. I also included Mavrai in this deal, which brought the price tag down a little bit. That was a good idea to include him as well. Mavrai never saw the field last season, and he made almost $50,000 per week in wages, just astronomically overpaid. So it was a good deal all around, and I really, really like our defense heading into season 2. Now, I talked just briefly about that midfield, and I was looking at the team. Heading into this season, all we had for those 2 midfield spots were Emre Can, Wallace, and Gotoku Sakai. That's it. We're heading into the Champions League this season. We needed more midfield depth. That's why I signed Klein from the youth academy, and now we're adding Mario Pasalic from Chelsea. I did have Pasalic just briefly in the AC Milan career mode. He was on loan there, but I never really played him. Now I'm kind of wishing I had just tested him out a little bit, but I think he looks like a really, really good box-to-box mid. He's going to cost us $14 million, but he's coming from the Premier League, which means his wages are quite high at $115K per week. That makes him the second highest paid player on the entire team, second only to Emre Can, who we also got from the Premier League. So Pasalic will probably have a starting spot. He might split time between him, Wallace, and Sakai, but I think he looks like a really, really good player for now, and I think he's going to grow into a great player in the future. There was one other position I thought we could use a little bit more depth, and that was at center back. And I've added, yes, another American to the team. And this was not my first choice. I do like Walker Zimmerman, but my first choice, I can't remember his name, but I think he was a Chilean playing in Chile, and I just missed out on getting him. Bayern Munich actually got to him before I could snatch him up. So I went with my second choice, and that is Walker Zimmerman, a player I'm familiar with. Obviously, I've had him at Dallas before. He's big, strong, physical. I like the way he plays. He's not the greatest player, doesn't have the highest potential, but that's okay. I just need someone else for some depth in that center back spot. While I like Gideon Young and Thilo Kehrer, I just don't feel comfortable playing them both together if I have to. So that's why I wanted Zimmerman as well. Just another option in there, a little bit higher rated than I know he's higher rated than Kehrer. I think he's higher rated than Gideon Young as well. So like I said, just need a little bit more depth in that center back spot, and I think Walker Zimmerman fits this team pretty well. And the only other move I have made so far is to actually not sell a player. I've decided I'm gonna stick with Filip Kostic at least for this season. And my thought process was this: if I were to sell him, I don't think we could get an upgrade on him. I don't think that there's a player that is either A, higher rated that would help the team right now, or is B, has more potential. I just think Filip Kostic is probably the best option for us at this point. And I played him in the preseason tournament. He played very, very well. I think part of the problem last season was I was forcing the ball too much to Christian Pulisic. When I actually gave Kostic the ball in the preseason tournament, he was very, very good. He was very solid. I think he's going to be set for a breakout season here in season number 2. So I've gone ahead and given him a new contract that he was asking for, and he's going to continue to stay and play and start on this team. So with all of that, here is now what the starting 11 is going to look like. At least the first choice starting 11 to start the season. We have 2 new additions to it. Pasalic in the midfield. He just looks really good, man. He can do everything. The only thing he can't do is take free kicks, and I'm not really too worried about that. He's actually really good at going forward with 71 finishing. That's not too bad. That's actually higher than Emre Can. Plus, he's got high work rates. Emre Can has medium high work rates. I may switch it so that Pasalic is the one going forward and Emre Can is the one staying back. But we'll have to see how that plays out. I haven't used Pasalic yet. I picked him up after the preseason tournament ended, so I've yet to use him at all. So I kind of have to get a feel for it and see how that thing plays out. The other new addition to the starting 11, Nicolas Sula, who is 6'5" and has 94 strength. An absolute monster. Not to be outdone though, John Brooks is 6'4", 87 strength. This is by far the biggest, strongest center back pairing I have ever had, and I am so excited to see how those two play with each other. I had Sula for a couple of the preseason games. I paired him with John Brooks, and like I said, we didn't give up a goal in the entirety of the preseason tournament. They are that good. I think they're going to be the best defense in the league. I think they're easily the best defense in the league. Maybe one of the best defenses in the world. I mean, I think we're that good defensively now. So hopefully no more stupid conceded goals this season, no more stupid mistakes. Hopefully we just clean all of that up. All right, so without further ado, let's get in here and play this first game of the season. Last time we were at the Allianz Arena, they humiliated us. It was a horrific display. We showed no real fight. They just dominated us from start to finish, and we did nothing against them. Hopefully it'll be a little bit different this time. We know what to expect. I've adjusted the instructions a little bit to kind of deal with the pressure that Bayern Munich is going to put on us. We're prepared, and this is a really, really good chance to start the season on the right foot and make a statement that we are a contender in the Bundesliga again this season, and we're ready to take that next step. Then again, we could lose and be right back where we were last season. So anything could happen here. Let's get in and start season number 2. All right, here we go. Kickoff in the Allianz Arena to start season number 2. And if you remember, both of these two teams choked the title away at the end of last season. They drew, I think, their last game of the year against Freiburg, the last place team in the league. We lost to Wolfsburg, and both of us missed out on a title because of it. I know we're both looking to get back on the right foot to start season 2. All right, the high pressure from Bayern Munich. We're prepared for it this time, though. Oh, I thought we were. Shouldn't be giving the ball away there. That was bad. That was a bad move. Brooks, good block. Falls for Costa. Oh, what a nice little 1-2. Costa dribbled it right into Adler. He should have had a shot there. I didn't really screw that up. They just had a really nice play there. But now we have a counterattack. And it's Yedlin out in front of Alaba. I know Alaba's quick, but he's not as fast as Yandre Yedlin. Yedlin all the way in. Get the cross away. Nicely done. Oh, I had him back post, and it just whizzed in between two of my players there. Here we go. We're moving the ball. Nice. Halilovic, nicely done. Back in there. Can we find the ball? Referee! What the heck was that? I just got fouled 3 times by David Alaba. What just happened there? Come on, Pulisic. Cutting it inside. Let's lay it here. Here we go. Halilovic. We're looking far side. We've got Kostic cutting in. Nicely done. Have the shot. Right at Ulrich. That's unfortunate. Oh, boy. All right. Start of the second half. Bayern Munich are going to be getting a little bit more offensive, bringing on Vidal, Forzabi, Alonso. To be fair, though, I think in that first half, we were the better team. We did not look, intimidated or passive at all. We took it to them, and they kind of had to absorb our pressure for once, and I think that's kind of why they're bringing on Vidal to try to turn that around. So we'll see how the second half goes. Oh, no. Yedlin, get back. Costa, yes, Sula. Ooh, that was almost an own goal, but it was well defended in the end. Man, a couple of those nervy moments, man. It hasn't been easy, but maybe we have a counterattack here with Kostic. There you go. Kostic keeps it in. Come on, Kostic. Get forward, man. Let's bring it a little bit closer in. Pull it back. Yes, Bobby! God, they block everything. They play every single ball absolutely perfect. What's worse is that Bobby Wood is down in the box. That we cannot have. We absolutely can't afford to lose Bobby Wood. Oh, boys. Look at all the space. Kostic. Played in the middle, Kostic. It's there, and it's Jordan Morris. Just came into the game for Bobby Wood, and Jordan Morris may have just got us the winner against Bayern Munich. I don't know what Bayern was doing there. Less than 10 minutes left. They had all of the numbers pushed forward, and they didn't even have the ball. I don't know why they had that. That was off of a set piece. That was off of a free kick in our half. They just left everyone forward. That was really, really dumb. That was way too easy. If they're going to do that, we'll beat them every time. Come on, boys. Jordan Morris is the hero. Uh-oh. Get out there, Douglas. Nice tackle from Douglas on Robben. And we're forward again. Come on, Kostic. Take that touch. Nicely done. Bring it towards the defender. Let's play this thing right. Back in there. Jordan Morris again. Jordan Morris again. 2 goals for Jordan Morris in the final 10 minutes. And that is it. Bayern Munich is done. Oh, my God. We're going to beat Bayern Munich. What's more, we're going to beat Bayern Munich at the Allianz Arena. That just doesn't happen. I'm telling you, this team is different this year. They just seem to have that fire. Like, losing out on the title on the last day of the season has just ignited that fire. And we play so unbelievably well. What a finish from Jordan Morris on his left foot. Beautifully taken. Come on. And that is the final whistle straight from kickoff. Yes. What a start to this season, beating Bayern Munich. The toughest game of the season's out of the way now. The toughest regular season game we're going to have is done, and we picked up 3 points in it. And a very impressive 3 points at that. Bayern Munich had nothing. Well, I don't want to say they had nothing going forward. They had a couple of shots. It's almost impossible to stop them for a full 90 minutes. But for the most part, we shut them down defensively. Sula was massive in that game. He had so many tackles. Just everything was perfect. This team fits together very well. Pasalic was good. Everything works, man. This team is phenomenal. All right, so we have about 4 days left in the transfer window, and I'm not going to go any further into the season. I'm going to end the gameplay portion right here. We have a little bit less than $11 million in the transfer budget. Just wanted to see if there was anything else you guys thought we needed to get this transfer window. In my opinion, at least depth-wise, I think we're good. I really don't see anything else that we really need in this team. I'm pretty happy with where we're at. I think I'd rather save that money and wait until January. At that point, we should be getting some Champions League money in as well. Our objective in the Champions League this season is to get out of the group stage. If we're able to do that, we should get somewhere between $8 and $10 million in, I think. So we'd have about $20 million to play with come January if we're able to make that happen. At that point, we can look for pre-contract players, maybe address the Adler situation because I didn't get a new goalkeeper. I kind of wanted to wait until January, give him the first half of the season and see if he keeps performing. He was fine last year. As long as he keeps doing that, we're going to be fine. I'd like to go with Adler for the rest of this year if possible, but I think we're going to save this money until January, but let me know what you guys think. And as I did just mention the Champions League, this is our group for that competition. We have PSG, Villarreal, and Braga. And honestly, I'm going to scroll through the other groups real quick. You can see, just look at the top 2 teams in each one of these groups. I would have to say, I know PSG is going to be a big hurdle, but Villarreal as the second best team in our group, that's not bad. I would have to say we have one of the easier groups in this competition. And I think we have a really, really good chance of getting out of this group. Like I said, I know PSG is a problem, but we don't have to finish above PSG. We just have to beat Villarreal and Braga, and I think we're going to be able to do that. So, like I said, if we're able to do that, we should get a really, really good chunk of change coming in come January. All right, so that is where I'm going to end this one for today. It's taken a week, 2 recording sessions, 4 hours total of recording to get this episode out. So again, I apologize for that. And hopefully now we'll be back to, I was going to say the regularly scheduled uploads, but I don't really have a schedule. I just get them out when I can get them out. And unfortunately, this was the earliest I could get this episode out. But to start next episode, we're going to be away at Hertha Berlin. So that's 2 straight games on the road to start the season in the Bundesliga. And then we're away to start our first Champions League game. And we're going to be at the Parc des Princes to face PSG. So the early season schedule is not going to be kind to us at all whatsoever, but if we're able to get through that, I think we're going to be golden for the rest of the season. I mean, if that first game against Bayern was any indication, I think this team is destined for great, great things, and I cannot wait to get back in and record the second episode of this season. So if you're excited for that, let me know by leaving a like below. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you when we come back and we continue Season 2 with Hamburg. See ya.